You got control of me right now. Barricades, walls are crumbling every single time you say okay. You got control of me right now. Barricades, walls are crumbling every single time you say okay.
Hello and welcome to Neurodivergent News once again, where we cover all of the topics that matter to our neurodivergent audience. I like to start with defining what neurodivergent means, and it just really means anything that is any behavior or thought process that is not considered typical. And typically we are talking about within the autism spectrum, although it is a very inclusive term, and we do have people from all walks of life and all disorders that are considered neurodivergent. I am Deanna Brakefield, your hostess, the owner of Lionheart Kingdom Marketing. I am a mother of 7. 6 of my children are neurodivergent. My spouse is neurodivergent, and so am I. So we have just a very eclectic household going, which is why we love hosting people like our wonderful guests today. So today I have with me a trio of absolutely astounding women. I have with me Miss Willow, the founder of the wonderful company that we're going to be talking about today. I also have with me Miss Sara, who is an absolutely amazing musical therapist. And if you listen to any of her recordings after this broadcast, I think you're just going to be blown away. And Miss Domasha, the lead clinician, Holistic Hippie Vibes LLC. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So tell us, ladies, I mean, this is a very interesting dynamic that I've gotten to be familiar with. Willow, what started this?
So what started the business is I am a master's level therapist. And in my own journey of healing my trauma, I found that it took more than just the tradition, like the typical talk therapy that we go to where we, use our insurance, we sit down with a therapist and talk, right? That just wasn't enough for, my journey. And then I ended up in a trauma treatment center. And I discovered holistic practices. I discovered breath work. I discovered yoga nidra, crystals, chakras, all of these things. And so that really, and as at the time, I was raised in a Christian household. So I was raised, that these things weren't healthy for me. And so actually there was a pastor there and they said, invite God into it. And that's what I did. So I started to just invite God in, and then that just took me on a whole nother journey of this holistic world. And so I discovered what it did for my own journey of helping me to really make a difference in my baseline. And because of that, I was like, I want to get trained on how to do some of these things so that way I can start to bring it to my clients. So I went and I got breath certified, and so I am certified in pranayama and circular breath work. And I also ended up getting certified in yoga nidra. And through my breath training, my connection started to come out. So I started using, other forms of ways of connecting with my higher power. And so now I do spiritual readings, breath work, yoga nidra, and that also developed into sound because much like Sara, she's a higher level, of course, with the music, but I was in the band growing up. I've always been attached to music in some form. I've played different instruments and things. So that led into sound healing. And I'm almost done with my certification for sound healing. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. And thank you very much for having me.
So now, Sara, how did you get involved in Holistic Hippie Vibes?
So I'm very grateful. I'm very new to it. But music's something I've always done, something I've always played. I played piano, and violin since I was 5 years old. I always joke that I came out of the womb singing. Music's just something that makes sense to me. I've always been writing songs and doing the music thing, but it was really about a year ago that I decided that this is something that I want to dedicate 100%, 1,000% of my time to. I was a creative director in the advertising world for 2 decades, and then I did the music as well. So I basically had 2 full-time jobs, and it was just becoming a lot. And it became very clear also through my own healing journey. I also share that with Willow, that I, have suffered with depression, anxiety, lots of trauma, and I spent a summer a few years ago in a trauma treatment center as well. And that just, it became very clear that my music is for healing, and I want to help heal people and help just be a guide for someone, and using music as sort of the focus to do that. So I met Willow through social media, and the cool thing about, I think, social media is when you get aligned to kind of the right algorithm that is going to be very beneficial. So I'm very in tune with the music and wellness healing algorithm. And Willow and I met each other there, and we've just worked together since then as clinicians. And I just, I think music is such a powerful thing for people, whether it's expressing their emotions, processing through them. It's very soothing and grounding qualities of music that can really help, the masses, especially for the neurodivergent community. There's really this sense of connection through storytelling. And that's really, I am very open and raw and vulnerable with my story and with my songs, because I've done so much work on myself. And I really share my transparency and my vulnerability in hopes that someone else hears a part of my story, and maybe it invites them, to open up a little bit more about what they maybe are going through. And then the last thing is just that it's like a nonverbal path to healing. Like, music is the universal language, and it doesn't matter, what language you speak. We all are able to share, that connection of the healing powers of music. So that's kind of how I got hooked into it, and I'm really, really excited for the future.
That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
there's one more person in this interview, and she seems to be the quiet one, but I have a feeling she very much has a voice of her own and has lots to say. So, Miss Domasha, tell us about how you're involved with Holistic Hippie Vibes.
Well, I am definitely the quiet one. So I am extremely quiet and shy, but influencing. So I'm pretty much all over the internet. Willow and I met, we worked together for a therapist, actually, is how we met. And so we just became friends from there. And we kind of like just been inseparable since then. And that was years ago. How I got involved in Holistic Hippie Vibes is because my friend was like, she had an idea, and I support her, like I support her wholeheartedly in whatever it is that she wants to do or trying to do. And so I said, how can I help? And at first she was like, I don't know yet. I got to figure it out. So once she had to figure it out, she was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. So I have a master's in education, so higher education. So teaching people is definitely my thing. I also do the intuitive reading. So I've had a gift since I was a little child, where I can just, I don't know how I can just tell you everything about you and some things that are going to happen next, as well as like mediumship and then healing. So I make like tinctures, teas, and different things to heal the body naturally. Super holistic when it comes to like food and different things like that. And then sound healing is my other specialty that I do. And I haven't been doing sound healing for that long, but I feel like it has always been my thing, because it's always nice to, when I open my eyes after I'm playing, to see everybody just like in awe. So that's always like a wonderful thing to me. Definitely dealing with different traumas as relationship, mindset coaching, building you from the bottom up, building businesses, and I do a lot of things. So.
Oh, it sounds like it. It sounds like Willow keeps you very, very busy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, ladies, when we were doing our pre-interview section, we talked a lot about the mind-body-spirit connection. Would anyone like to chime in a little bit and give us an explanation about what that means?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I have always been, so when again, this goes back to even before I moved to Florida from Pennsylvania. So again, in my own journey, I remember being at the gym, telling myself, mind, body, spirit. Is it good for my mind? Yes. Is it good for my body? Yes. Is it good for my spirit? Yes. Okay, I can do this. So it was, to me, if I can answer all three of those questions while I was on that, because I was very codependent.
Mhm.
So, because of my trauma. So I didn't really, and I went from a situation growing up where my mom loved me. So she really had a lot of plans for me. So control. And then also in a controlling marriage. So I didn't know how to live life independently. And so one of my ways of exploring that is asking myself, is it good for the mind? Is it good for the body? Good for the spirit? And if I said yes to all of the above, then
Mhm.
it was a healthy decision that I could do. But I also believe that it takes those three elements for us to have a more peaceful, relaxing life. Because, if I'm working on my mind and my spirit, what's happening with my body, but they're all connected because the mind is within the body and so is the spirit. It's all centrally connected. It's like yoga 3 point. Yoga means 3 points. So and prana is our life force, you know what I mean? So it's all just interconnected. Our prana is our breath, which connects us to spirit, gets us into our mind and gets us centered, and it connects us to our body. Like Sara was talking earlier, about the connection between the body and the mind, and connecting to ourself by doing the PEMS check-in. And I'll let her talk about that. But that's how she connects to her body, and I connect to my body through my breath.
Mhm. Sara, do you want to chime in a little bit?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, or especially in society nowadays, like we're very singular focused. You go to the doctor and you get they tell you that this is wrong, but like we are multifaceted. There's lots of layers to us. And music is one mode of healing, but there's lots of different things that we can, utilize. And we're all individual people that have different likes. And so in the spirit of what, mind body connection is, something that I learned while I was in treatment is this sort of check-in where I call it PEMS, but it's PEMS, and it's just easy to remember. But it's a check-in with your body every day of how you're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And you can do it as soon as you like wake up, even in your bed. And it's just a way to move us, a society that's very caught in our heads, into our heart and into our body. And so, it might look like, okay, I wake up physically, how am I doing? Well, I may have a headache, or I may, feel tired. Emotionally, you could be a lot of emotions. You could be anxious, but you could also be excited because something's happening. Mentally, are you scattered? Are you grounded? Are you with it? And then spiritually, I mean, no matter what your higher power is or what you believe in, it could be as simple as, do I feel grounded? Do I feel connected to nature? Do I feel like, I feel alone in this world? So I feel like every day it's something that I try and do, and I try and do with my clients. And it's a way to just really quickly get us from our thinking mind into our body, and seeing, that there are a lot of things, you could be doing emotionally great, but your body is failing, or your body could be feeling great and you are spiritually, just not there. So I think that, that was really powerful when I learned how to do that. And it's something that I practice every day.
That is so amazingly powerful. And it doesn't matter whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent, learning that technique, it sounds like it can really help you harness an understanding of yourself and bring balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, ladies, to get a little bit more technical, and I'm not sure who I should ask this question to, so I'll just ask it. If somebody decides that they want to work with you, ladies, what does that process look like technically and emotionally?
Domasha, why don't you take it? You haven't talked much. Go ahead.
Well, I guess the first thing is though to see like who you match up with, because what you need and what your needs are important to us, but we also want to make sure to get you in the right space because you may want music that may be something that helps you and that supports you. We have a website. You can go on the website and you can look at each one of us and see like everything that we do, but then you never know where your energy might draw you. Your energy might draw you to Willow, and maybe she doesn't sing, but it may draw you to her. But then once you get into some sessions with her, your energy may send you over to someone else. You just never know what's going to happen. So I think that I can speak for all of us when I say we're pretty free, we're pretty open as far as like, let's do the discovery, see how we work together, how everything meshes together, what it is that you really need, versus like what you want, because sometimes what we want isn't what we need. And so when you have that discovery call, that helps, us break down some things and say, hey, well, let's do this, or what do you think about this? And it's your choice, and the doors are always open to be able to, move around to each person if that's what you need, because some people may need that. They may need to go from person to person, being that there's different levels to healing, different levels to change. And so you might start off with Willow, you may end with me. We just go with it. We go with the flow. We allow energy, God, like everything to just flow as people need it.
So,
Yeah, because
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you may want, mindset coaching with Domasha, but then, the next week you might want to do something more relaxing and have Reiki with John, who's not here with us today, So, and then maybe the following week, it's like, you know what? I could go for some music healing. Let me reach out to Sara. So
I was about to ask, it's not just you three ladies. There are a few other people involved in this amazing practice. Yes?
yes.
Would you like to take a second and tell some of the services that they offer?
So currently you have the three of us, and then we have John, and John is a Reiki master. So you can book with him. And he's also written a book about his coming out phase. We are a gender affirming company. I personally have received 2.5 years in ongoing training for the Pride community. So so he has that. And then I also have some people that are in the process of the onboarding. So we have a Kundalini yoga teacher that will be coming in. We also have another master's level clinician that will be coming on who has several trauma certifications. So I'm really excited. We also have a chef that's going to be starting, and she will be offering cooking lessons, being able to help you learn how to eat for your chakras. Like if you're not feeling grounded, she can teach you recipes to help with grounding or opening up your heart, whatever it is that you want to focus on. So yeah, I'm really excited, and we're still growing. I do have the on my website that we are hiring. So, and yeah, so excited.
I was actually going to mention that earlier. I was thinking about teasing you about that. So you're looking for people for your practice? But I know
Yes.
it sounds like y'all are really creating an inclusive environment that's designed to offer whatever it is you need to be a whole person.
Yes. And that was the goal of my company, because one of the things that my clients would often say is, what do I do now? I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, or, I stopped, people pleasing, or, it's whatever that bad habit is that they start to drop. They don't know what to do with their time. And, so we actually, like in my case, I was so controlled for so long, I didn't know who I was because everybody else told me who to be. And I just did what everybody else wanted me to do, like blindly, as if I had, blinders on. So this is a way we want people to be able to explore themselves. So I'm also going to be adding other people who are more hobbyists, and they're going to start doing groups eventually. So there will be online groups coming. And like I have somebody who's putting together a class for plants, for example, and she is going to be teaching different plant care. So I think the class she's working on first is how to take care of your plants in the winter. So yeah, so there's going to be also that's, in the works. We are in week 2 of our relaunch. So yeah, just wait. We are just getting started. And, this whole journey started when I first graduated. To take it back to the Neurodivergent, my very, very first client as a therapist was 13 years old, nonverbal autism.
Mm-hmm.
And, so autism has always had a very special place in my heart. I was a behavior specialist. I was a therapeutic staff support, mobile therapist, family therapist. I still do work with children's and families and adults and kids, and we provide parent support. So autism has always had a very special place.
I love it. Well, I mean, you offer so many eclectic services. What would you pinpoint is the most unique service that you offer?
I'm going to let Sara take over on this one.
Well, I was first just gonna add that, like, I think what's so wonderful and something that was really important to me when I was in my when I went into treatment was that it really I went to a like holistic, well-rounded place, because we are all very individual creatures, and we have, you know, unique likes, and you know, someone might really vibe with plants and music, and someone else needs something completely different. And so to be able to offer this like wide spectrum of things that people, you know, can choose, you know, someone might love to journal, and someone might, you know, that might just be the end of them, you know? So being able to choose, like, you know, what modalities work for them. For me, I think what is so cool, stepping into this world and, you know, getting my certification as a life coach, and also being trained as a peer recovery specialist and working with people with trauma and addictions and recovery, is this ability that my whole music career, I've always written from a place of healing, and it's always been very cathartic to me, and hopefully cathartic to, you know, the listeners of what I'm doing. But it dawned on me that I could really work and help people take their recovery story, or take what they've been through and put it into a piece of music. And because I think a lot of times people are like, well, man, it would be so great if I could be a songwriter, but I'm not a songwriter, or I don't play music. And we all have the ability to turn our pain into power. We all have the ability to, you know, have someone guide and help them, you know, create this magical. I know how much it's done for me. I know when I write a song about something really intense that I went through, just to have that gift, you know, that piece of art that will like last on forever. And so I really want to help people do that. And I can, and I'm offering a lot more in the music realm than just that. But I think that is really special, because I can work with someone and we can kind of uncover what is their like piece of empowerment, like that they can have this and be like, man, what I just went through the past 5, 6, 7 years, how resilient I am, and you know, just have this piece of empowerment, and let them know like that everyone is innately creative, and everyone can be a songwriter, and everyone can write their story. And so I just think that is just so amazing when that can happen, when I can help that happen for someone else. And I'm not doing anything, like I'm literally helping them use their words and kind of put it together, you know, guiding them as I know what to do as a musician. But I think that, you know, to me, I'm really excited about. And then the collection that grows of this, you know, this beautiful garden of songs from all different walks of life. And so that's something I'm very excited about.
Sara, you just light up when you talk about music. I love it.
I mean, it's literally saved my life like over and over and over again. And I think that, you know, Willow and Domasha, like they're so amazing with their individuals and with kids. And I love working with kids so much. I think they're just so magical. And it's going to be really fun. It's going to be an awesome time, you know, growing this beautiful community and services that we offer.
I can't wait to see where you ladies are headed. And I know there's a couple of things that we wanted to mention that will help y'all grow and get there a little bit faster. Willow, would you mind telling me about your journal?
Oh yeah, so I have a book, and I also have some journals, but the one that I am most excited about is the journal that my adolescent clients have been working on. So we're actually working on the second one. The first one is available. You can go to my website and go under publications, and all of our publications are there. They're slowly getting added for the team too. So, but the Everything Journal. So let me tell you about the Everything Journal. It is created by all kids. I did nothing other than just sit back and support and talk to them and do therapy sessions with them as they created this journal. So we created it in therapy because we use concepts of art. And when children are either playing a game or doing art or something while they're doing therapy, they're more relaxed and they freely talk. It's amazing. So they created this journal, and every page is different. That's why they called it the Everything Journal. The kids named it. They created it from cover to cover. And the last child that was with me while we were doing it helped me actually even upload it and learned how to upload a journal into KDP and to get it into Kindle, the whole work. So they did it 100%. I just supervised. So I shared my screen because it was done through virtual sessions. And I just gave them screen control, and we built this journal. So yeah, it has everything in it. I use it every day to write my positive affirmations in, because I feel like if we actually write them out, they mean more than if we just say them. So yeah, so I'm really, really excited. We are a few pages into volume 2, so I don't know what they'll name it, because they might give it a new name. They might say part 2. I don't know. It's up to the kids. Yeah.
That
It's
sounds absolutely amazing. And I will make sure that the link, I am not an Amazon affiliate. The link will be included in the bio for the episode. That way, if anybody wants to check it out, they'll be able to. Sarah, did you have something to add?
I was just going to say it's beautiful. I have one, and it really does, even as an adult, like there's so much joy that comes across your face when you look at every one of these pages, and it really does help you tap into your inner child. Like everyone, that is looking at this journal or using this journal, their inner child is smiling. So
That gave me goosebumps.
So there was one other thing that you wanted me to make sure that I mentioned, and that was recovery coffee beans. So
Yes. So we are partnering with Recovery Beans Coffee. And what is Recovery Beans Coffee? It is coffee that tastes amazing, but it is all recovery based. So the spiritual awakening, and then there's coping skills, there's smoking meeting. It's all like, so the founders are in recovery, and they met in long-term recovery. So that is how this company started. It's local here to where I'm at in Florida, Tampa Bay area. So I personally know the owners, and I'm really excited. So we're going to be partnering with them, and we're going to be selling Recovery Beans coffee very soon.
amazing. Remind me, I have a contact in Florida that I need to put you in touch with.
Awesome.
So one last thing, Miss Domasha, if they want to hear about all of these amazing things that you've got going on, if they want to find the amazing resources that you guys have mentioned, and most importantly, if they want to schedule time with you ladies, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Well, so they would find us on the website. They're the Holistic Hippie Vibes website, holistichippie.vibes.com. Just go to the website. You'll be able to look at all of us, and then you'll be able to book your sessions there. And I believe, Willow, tell me if I'm wrong, I think you can even pay on the website as well. So
Yep.
everything is like one-stop shop. Is the coffee beans on there yet? That's on there
It's
too.
going. So I
Okay.
just applied for my retail license. So I want to
All
do
right.
everything legally. So as soon as I get the final approval that my tax information is legal with the state of Florida to resell, that will be up on the webpage. So it's coming very
Yes,
soon.
coming soon. So it's like everything is right there for you. And then you will, once you book your session, once you book your discovery call, you'll get a call from one of us, whoever you book with.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for your time today. You've all been absolutely amazing. I have enjoyed this interview, and I hope to have you each on individually in the future. That way we can get to know you all better.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much. This is
you.
great.
So
It's
this
really
has been Neurodivergent News for another episode. Tune in every Monday and Thursday for brand new content. We will see you soon. Have a glorious day.